Hello everybody, it's me Paddy from Across the Shuck. Welcome to another video, and today's video is entitled Why I Carry a Tiny Knife as a Secondary Blade, or something along that lines. This is my personal choice of carry, and it's not going to be the same for everybody, and it's not going to be something that everybody would even want to do, but it's what the reason. I think it's a good reason for me, and maybe somebody out there might get something from it. Who knows? So what I've got in front of us is a Spyderco Tenacious, which is what I would call my size of an everyday carry. I wouldn't get much bigger than this. This is what I call an everyday carry. And I'm going to put that up there as a just a scale version of what it is shown against my tiny knives. And the reason why I've called it tiny knives and not small knives is because some people carry huge knives and they would have like a Delica or even maybe a Tenacious as a secondary knife. This is not that. This is for people who carry um, an ordinary size, a medium size EDC, and these are tiny knives and my reasoning for carrying them. And I suppose I'll start showing them as I'm given my reasoning. The biggest one I have of my little tiny knives, and when I say biggest one, I mean by the blade length, is San Remo. Now, I have found that San Remo make excellent small budget folders. It's made with 8CR13, but they are truly great little EDC folders, secondary folders, I should say. The standard of quality in these knives is second to none. And there's a lot of big companies could definitely do with copying their standard, their quality control, because it really is quite phenomenal. So the first one that I carry, and it's probably the most useful one that I have so far, and it's a San Remo 6029. That's it there, and that's it up beside. If I put that up beside the Tenacious, you'll see a rough size of it. The nice thing about this blade is, if I take it over here for you, it's got a 2-inch blade or a 5 centimeter blade, um, which is great for everyday use. I use these knives to open a package, to cut down small boxes, like cereal boxes and things like that. But if you're in the workplace and there's mail coming in or boxes to be cut down, if they're just small, thin cardboard boxes, why use your main EDC? My reasoning is that my EDC, the big blade, is for emergencies more than anything else. It's a work tool, so I want it to be ready whenever I need to do big work jobs. For want of better words, that doesn't sound very good, but I want it to be ready at all times. So if I can use another blade for doing the smaller tasks, or say that there's ties, the ties, these plastic ties that go around things, I would rather use my small knife to cut them plastic ties, because we've all, I'm sure, chipped a blade doing that. Why do that to your main EDC if that's going to be your it could be your last resort knife at any time? So I'd rather keep it sharp and it from chipping. I'll use a little cheap knife that's easily fixed because the blade steel's soft, or if it's not, I can throw it away and I'm not worried about it. All these knives, most of the wee San Remo ones, you get for under $7 delivered, so they're not an expensive thing at all. And there's some lovely differences, as you'll see now. I've got some of them here that are completely different, and I enjoy the collecting of these as much as I do my bigger knives, because there is lots of choice. And it's nice to be able to, as we all don't have a collection of knives that look similar, we all have different knives. So the tiny knives are for me. I love collecting them, and I have a wee storage pouch which I'll go into again. I've done a wee thing on it before. My wife made it for me. It carries a torch, a knife, a little pen, and a lighter, and I have that goes in my pocket every day, and I change the knives every day and maybe the torches every now and then. So the next one I'm going to put up is another San Remo, and it's a San Remo 4058. Sorry, this is a liner lock, and this is a lockback. Lovely little knife, short, sharp, stabby blade, but the lockback is very good, very free, and very solid. It's steel over brass as well, which is lovely. That the detail they put into a knife, that costs nothing. So there's the first two of the small tiny knives that I have and the reasoning for having them. The other thing is I'm just a knife guy. So before fidget spinners came out, rather than bringing my big knife out sitting at a train station or anywhere in a workplace, if I bring this out, or say this is one of my little favorites. This is a bean knife. I got this from AliExpress. It's a slip joint. All it is slip joints, but it's a little flicking slip joint. It's lovely. Its blade size is about an inch and a half, which is what's that in centimeters? 3.5 centimeters. It's a lovely little knife, titanium, and it's supposedly S35VN, but I wouldn't be 100% sure. It's hard enough and it holds a really good edge, let me tell you, and it's sharp, but again, I'm not going to swear by that. So there's another one that I like. That's one of my that was my fidget knife before a fidget spinner came along. The next little knife is it's like a little razor blade. If you can see, that is like a razor blade. It sharpens in a minute on a stone. It really is extremely sharp, and it's a slip joint. Small little slip joint. I just have that on it because it goes into my pouch and it's easier to pull it out. Again, a nice little knife, nice looking little knife, different. All my little knives are different. I tend not to buy the same. I try to get something completely different. My posh little small knife is my ladybug. I had bought this originally for my wife, who liked it when she got it, but she found that she's arthritis in her fingers, so she found the lockback quite hard. So she gave that back to me when I got my first one of these, which was in red, and anybody that looks back will see. It's a liner lock. It's very easily disengaged, and she finds it easier. And the blade's a bit longer, so she has more uses for it. And she now carries it every single day. And this is from a lady who thought I was mad when I started collecting knives. So there you go. You can just never tell. And the smallest knife is probably one of my favorite. It's the little I have completely forgotten the name of it. Oh dear Stephen. Oh, come on. Swiss Army knife. It's the smallest Swiss Army knife with the scissors and a wee knife. And it's got the toothpick and the tweezers on it. Again, that just throws in the bottom of the pocket, or it can go in my little case. So I think you can see there's 6 knives there that are completely different, but they'll all do a job that I want them to do. They'll all cut small boxes down. They'll cut ties. They'll cut cordage. They'll save this knife that I do need it. I mean, again, this is the work tool, but if it's a big job, I want it to be sharp. I don't want it to have a chip on the blade. And it's also, I suppose, I've never had to use one. I don't know how to use one, but in a last minute or last ditch attempt, this could be a self-defense tool. If it's not sharp, you're even more trouble in my eyes. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend that unless you're trained. I am not trained, but it still could be your last line of defense. So using these maybe during your day's work keeps this sharp. All right, it's nice to get the big blade out and flick it about. We all like that. And if you've got big work to do, if you've got big, heavy cardboard boxes, yes, you'll have to use that. But these, for just every job, keeps it sharper longer. And keeping the knife sharper longer, to me, is the aim of the game for me. The last knife I'm going to show you was an impulse buy one night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it cost me $2.50. And it's this. It's a lovely etched Chinese dragon on a little liner lock. Do you see this? I'm going to say liner. It's a frame lock, really. The most beautiful little Chinese design, Zhongling JL238B. Absolutely bronzed colour, sharp as a razor, and I think it was $2.50 delivered. So it is. It's my. If somebody asks what knife did you buy that was stupid, this is my one. This is my. But it's funny. I do actually like it. I wouldn't carry it about with me, to be honest with you. I wouldn't trust that lock anyway. but it is sharp as a razor, and if it was about the house and I had to use it, I would use it. So there's 7 knives for the 7 days of the week that I can change in and out, and I'm not carrying the same one. Sadly, at the minute, I'm trying to mix and match colours with knives so that I carry the same colour, which I know is terribly sad. I was talking the other day on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, and please go over to my Instagram channel. It's the same name, but I was talking to somebody on there, and I never thought I'd see the day where I want to match colours of my knives or colours of my knives to a pen or to a flashlight, and I'm now got like that, and it's terrible. But that's my reasoning for these small knives. Keep your main blade as sharp as you can, as long as you can. They're also great fidget things, and they're not going to scare anybody. Whether you're in the office, whether you're sitting at the bus station, wherever you are, you can pull these out and play with them. This little bean flipper, I don't know how many times it's been open and closed. It's a lovely little knife. So, a short and sweet little video. I don't know how short it was because I probably waffled on. But that's it. And I'll keep collecting these because I do find them as attractive as my big knives. So, there you go. Thank you so much for listening, folks. Nice to be back again, and I'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Take care. All the best, Paddy.